Hi guys, Melissa with TCT Crafts. Thank you guys for joining us today. Today we're going to be making this beautiful everyday design that can be hung up year-round, and we are using a tobacco basket. So this is going to be designed in a tobacco basket. We're going to be using another piece of my artificial Christmas tree. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you haven't already, make sure you go and subscribe. Hit the bell, you'll be notified every time we have new tutorials. So let's get started. Hi guys, today we are going to make an everyday design that can be hung in your home year-round, and we are going to be using this tobacco basket. So I'm sure you guys have seen these before. They come in the natural color. I've seen them in white. So this is what we're going to be using as our base today. And then we're also going to be using another piece of my old Christmas tree. So if you caught the lantern tutorial, we used a branch on that. Now we're going to be using another branch on this design. So it's just going to sit down. We're going to zip tie this in here, and it's just going to act as some filler and something to attach all of our other greeneries to. So this is what we're going to be using as our base. You could also, if you don't have a Christmas tree stem, you can use a piece of a swag. That will work too. You can use a artificial pine wreath in here if you wanted. So anything will work. But this is what I'm going to be using today. So I'm going to switch the view down so that you guys can get a better angle. And let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a zip tie, and I'm going to go right around the top, just weaving it in the holes here. And I'm going to zip tie this at the top. And then we're going to do it again in the center. But before I zip tie it together, let's work on adding another greenery in here. We can just zip tie it all at once. So I've got our zip tie ready. It's just right there in the center, and I've just woven it in and under. And now let's start with our base greenery that we're going to use, which is this really fun fern spray. I love these fern sprays because they have so many textures and different greeneries in them. So I'm going to take in, let's break this into 3 pieces. I'm going to straighten out our leaves so that they're facing the right way. They get all, squished in the box, so kind of gotta give them a good shake. Okay, let me cut this down. And we're gonna have one laying. I want it to come up a little bit higher than the Tabasco basket, so it's gonna sit right in there. Let me get another piece. Fluff it out. Turn our leaves how we want them. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece because it has another large fern, kind of like we have up here. So I'm going to use this one to go down this way. Let me just trim this a little bit. And it's going to go right down towards the bottom. I do want it to hang off of my basket just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then let's go ahead and zip tie now. I'm going to just pull it tight. Go ahead and cut this off. Okay, now we're going to take one of our other pieces here. Let me trim this down. And I want it to come kind of to the right. So I'm going to take and just twist. Actually, I'm going to set it there and we'll do another zip tie. Let me get another piece. So I'm going to use 2 of these. And I want to get the piece that has one of the smaller ferns. So we'll go with this one. And I'm going to go to the left. I'm just going to fan these out. Okay. I'm going to take another piece. We're going to go to the left. And our last piece will go to the right. So I'm just following a pattern there. So now I'm going to take another zip tie, and we'll add some glue to this as well, but let me get it zip tied in. So I'm just going to weave that through and back up another one of the holes here. And I'm just going to zip tie all of that we just put in there. Just going to zip tie it all together. And then we'll add some glue in a second. Okay. I'm just going to kind of maneuver these around so they're not laying flat. We want them to have lots of movement. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to give it a little bit of glue right around the zip tie. And there we go. And that should be good. Okay, before we start adding some of our other greeneries, let's go ahead and make our bow. This is going to be a fairly simple design. This greenery does a lot of the work for you. I mean, you can see how full this is already with just 2 of those fern bushes. So we're not going to have to put a lot of items in here just to make a huge statement. So let's get our bow going. So I'm going to be using my Easy Bow Maker. And we're going to be using 2 ribbons today. So I'm going to be using this green burlap. It is a D. Stevens that I've had for quite some time. Let me see how long I want my tails. Let's start with there. We can cut it down. And I'm going to do about 6.5 inches on the loop. Okay. Go ahead and cut my tail. Okay, and I think I want a couple tails up of this. So I'm going to trying to see if I want to do another loop or just do tails. I think I'm just going to do tails. So I'm just going to add a tail there. And now I'm going to go in with this cabana stripe. It's just a natural, any natural striped ribbon will work. So I'm going to start with my tails up. I'm going to do about a 6-inch. I need to hammer this tighter. It's getting too loose, but I don't want to do that on this video because it's going to be loud. So about 6 inches. And then I'm going to go down with my tail. Okay, and then let's do our other tail going up. And I'm going to go a little, about 1/2 inch shorter. So about 5.5. Get a zip tie. You could use a pipe cleaner. I prefer zip ties. Sometimes I'll use the pipe cleaners, but generally I'm going to use a zip tie. Okay, I'm just going to hold it and kind of twist my zip tie to make sure it's right there in the center where I want it. And I'm going to weave another zip tie through the back. This will be what we attach it to our project. I'm going to just kind of fluff up my tails a little bit and my loops before I cinch it really tight. So I've got it all fluffed up. I'm going to pull it really tight. Let's go ahead and cut that. Okay, let's get our basket back over here. And let me see where I want the bow. I'm thinking just right here. Like that, just kind of help cover up that other zip tie bundle that we had going on. So I'm just going to weave it right back and follow the same spot we had the other zip tie. And then go ahead and tie it really tight. But not too tight. We don't want to break that wood on that basket. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and dovetail our ends. I don't like this pair of scissors. Let me... Well, I guess both pair I have are the same, so we're just going to use them. Okay, let's... So I'm just folding the ribbon together, just folding it together and just cutting out an angle. Now I'm going to leave these tails I want it to kind of hang out of the basket just a little, but not too much, because we have a little bit of the greenery, but I didn't make it really long. If I had more greenery hanging out this way, you know, I could get away with my tails being a little bit longer, but I'm going to cut them just a little bit longer than the basket. There we go. So this is what we have so far. Super pretty. You could totally stop there if you just wanted something really simple. You've got some greenery, a bow, tobacco basket. You could totally stop there, but we're going to keep going. So I'm going to add in, I brought in some of our natural gypso bush. So we're going to bring a little bit of this in to kind of tie in a little bit with this natural striped ribbon. So let me get the tag off. And then we're just going to get this into pieces. So we've got 3 pieces. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one down because we don't need it that long. And we just kind of see where I want this. Just kind of right up in there, I think. Pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and dip it in my glue pot. Let me turn around to face me so I can make sure that I'm touching that pine. You can also take, if you want, and just wrap some of that pine around it if you want. Now this, because I'm using the tree branch, it's a little bit stiffer. If you had a swag base, it would probably twist better than this one is, but I'm just going to kind of weave this in there. Okay, I just lost the piece. Let me grab it real quick. Okay, and we're going to follow kind of the same pattern we did with that other greenery. So this is kind of more towards the center. I'm going to go more towards the right. I'm going to cut this down. And we're going to just create that pattern. So it's going to kind of tuck in right in there. Okay, let's get our other piece and we're going to go to the other side. And I'm just making sure I'm getting that glue to touch that pine in there. And we can just fan these out. Kind of position them where you want them. Pretty. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. So we're just following the same pattern. So we're going to put one right down in the middle, and then we'll go right and left again. So this one I'm going to put right up underneath my, just get my placement here, right underneath my bow. Because we have that zip tie, I have to kind of go right next to the zip tie. And I'm going to take one of these branches because it's in there, but that zip tie is kind of in the way. So I'm going to take a little baby pipe cleaner, or not pipe cleaner, a little baby zip tie, And I'm just going to zip tie this around one of these greenery branches. You could use a little piece of pipe cleaner too. And then we'll add some glue, but this is just giving us a little bit more security that it's not going to fall out. Okay. Kind of turn my little nub to the side, and then I'm going to add some glue right there. Okay. All right, now let's get our other two pieces. Follow the same pattern. I'm going to cut it down shorter. And then we're going to go, actually this one, I cut it too short and it just came apart, but that's okay. We can just add them separately. So I'm going to put this in there towards the right. And I may actually use these little pieces that came off and kind of tuck in behind our bow. Yeah, I like that. So let me take a little piece off of this one. Okay, we're going to go to the left, underneath that bow. And now I'm going to take a couple of these little pieces and let's just add them throughout our bow, like it's sort of coming, growing out of it. So I'm just dipping it in my glue, and then I'm kind of finding a little spot there in the bow just to attach it. Put one kind of right down in there. Okay, we got one more piece. So again, I just kind of did all the way around it. Super pretty. What do you guys think? You could totally stop here too. Like at each stage that we add, you could totally stop. I'm just going to keep going, but you could totally stop. So now I'm going to add, I brought this Eucalyptus berry pick. I think we're going to add a couple of pieces of it. It's got some fun little twigs. So it has these fun little branches, these little twiggies. It's got some different pieces of texture. I think we're probably only going to, I had brought two, but I think we're probably only going to add one. Just because this is already filling up so nicely. So we might just save that one. So I'm going to take just some of these pieces, and we're just going to add them throughout just to give it a little bit extra texture in here. Some different elements. I'm going to keep this one together. Cut it. Put this one in together because it has the little berry. I have two of, now these are different. Two of these, so we'll kind of do like a diagonal from each other. Okay, let's add the other one that way. I probably should have gone the other direction with it since I just put that berry there, but that's okay. I'll put it up a little higher than the berry. All right, now let's take this one with the little twig. And we'll put it up sort of in that area. Let me cut it down. Okay, and let's do this piece like right in here. Okay, we have another berry, so let's put it with this one. Let me twist these together. So we have that berry there. Let's do this berry on this side. I'm going to give it just a little bit more glue down in there. There we go. So pretty. Okay, we have one little piece. Let's add it down maybe right in here. There we go. Okay, next thing I brought in was these fun moss curly sprays, and I'm just thinking how many I want to add. So I want to break these. Trying to see if I want to do all 4 pieces or just do 2. So let me cut this one. It's going to be a shorter piece. And these you can maneuver these however you want. Okay, let me see. I'm thinking like kind of right in there. And then maybe this one. Right in there. I like it. I think we can just get away with just doing 2. If you wanted to add more, you definitely could, but I think I'm just going to do that. So let's go ahead and get some glue on this one. And get it added in there. Do this one right up under there. Again, you can manipulate these little curlies however you want them. Okay, so let's just do one. Thinking. Now I'm wondering if I should do. No, let's just go with my first. Go with your first instinct. Let's just keep it with those 2. And then the last thing that I have that we're going to add is a few of these. I have this I think the Dahlia bush. So it's got lots of fun little flowers and textures. So I figured we could add a few of these in here. So let's just kind of see where we want them. And these have a lot of little fun little pieces too, with different berries and greenery. So let me just kind of get my placement. Before we start gluing. Let me get one of the green flowers. I like that so far. I want to get a few hanging up and down here. So let's keep these a little longer. Do a green one on this side, and we can bend these, kind of make them face forward. I'm just getting my placement now. I'm not worried about gluing it. We'll make them secure in a second. Okay, let's do another green and cream at the bottom. Add this fun little bit right in there. We've got another one of these, so I think I'm going to add it right in here. So kind of diagonal from each other. Oh, I have 3 of them. So we could do a triangle and put it up in this area up here. So we've got a triangle pattern. Have one more green flower. I want to just use this whole bush so I don't have to worry about saving any pieces of it. Let's put this one like maybe right in there. I'm just looking kind of to see if there's any holes. And that's where we can put this little filler. So I actually see a hole right there. Okay, I think I like it. So let's start gluing these in now. So I'm going to start, just so I can keep up with where everything is. Start down here. Just going to kind of give the flowers a little bit of a bend. I'm just going to work my way around it so that I don't forget to glue anything in. Sometimes when you do that, it's hard to remember which pieces you've glued in, which ones you haven't. Okay, so let's get this green flower. Okay, let's get this little bit. I'm making sure these are touching that pine in there. Okay, let's do this one. Need to do this one. Can't remember if I did this one. I did. But since I just moved it, let me go ahead and just add another little dab. Okay. Let's get this bottom one in. And I'll go in when we're done after we get off, and I'll just kind of tug on everything a little bit just to make sure I didn't miss any. Make sure I didn't miss any with that glue. I can take my glue gun and just kind of hit it a little bit too, give it a little extra. Oh, I had glued that one. I will do it again. Okay. We'll fix our bow here in a minute. I'll finish going around. And that one I had pulled out, so I'm going to go ahead and hit it again. We are almost done. Okay, we started with this one, but I don't think I did this one. I did not. Okay, so I think we have made it all the way around. I'm gonna fix my tails, kind of turn my leaves the right way. And like I said, once I get off, I'll go around and just kind of maybe touch up a little bit with my glue gun, make sure that I've gotten everything. But this is what we have so far. Let me flip you guys back so you can see a different view. And there we go. This is our little everyday Tabasco basket. I'll have to make sure I get all these little glue strings too. So this is kind of an everyday design that can be hung in your home. You could put it on your door. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, bye guys.